guys are.
Hey.
Look at you guys.
Look at you.
Conrad
Yes.
Schuman and Stefanie Koo. Look at that.
Yes.
I
Hello.
love
Look
it.
at this.
Look at that beautiful compound you guys are in.
It is a combat. I love what you have going on behind you.
Secret
Whoa,
location.
wait, do you see what that says?
Yes, this is beautiful machines.
Oh my God.
And there's an awesome
that's
snake.
you guys.
Oh,
Where are you
that's
guys coming to
Florence.
us from?
Today we're just outside of London.
Outside of London, and that is Florence, Stefanie. Very, very captivating eye. I think you're the first person that to mention Florence. So shout out to Florence
Really?
there. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, lovely. So you guys are in London. Amazing, guys. I mean, first of all, let's start with the boiler points. Obviously, beautiful. Upcoming new album Singularity, and the new single Control is out now, and we do love you guys. I mean, from Disconnect, Reconnect 2013, and then to Bridges 2016, and this new sound, really exciting stuff, guys. I mean, honor to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
We're very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. I mean, Real Love has been in our rotation for years. I don't know how it got into like our iPad or iPod, and so we're super stoked. And we'll get into the new single in just a second. But first, Conrad, I have to ask you. I mean, last October, I was in Cleveland at the Rock Hall of Fame induction, covering it, and Kraftwerk got inducted.
Yes.
And the way that you guys are just kind of pushing the genre and the art forward, it really reminded me of what they were all about. Why do you think that electronic rock with a mission, with purpose, and with good lyrics have never gone out of style, regardless of the cycles of music?
Well, I think if you think of music as music, electronic music, I mean, most music uses electronics in it one way or another. Even all pop music most of the time is electronic. So, but I think music, when it has a focus on electronics and synthesizers in that kind of way, especially with the rebirth of it right now.
Yeah.
There was a time, felt like in the 90s when grunge and stuff was coming in, where it kind of went out, or where there was rock, and it's just like rock is all about just having rock only. Like it's specifically anti-synthesizer and anti electronics, and you have to play everything live. But why do I think it's never left? Because it sounds awesome. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It sounds awesome. And if you're able to like weave this kind of synergy together, where there's like some live aspects, some guitar, and then also electronics, and you can create like a soundscape and an atmosphere and a vibe. I mean, that's what we're really interested in doing, is creating a vibe and just create like that, like when you're just driving around at night, you're like, where am I? You know, what's going on? And it's a feeling.
Yeah, and you guys are definitely pros at that. And Stefanie, before getting any further, I have to ask you, I mean, for you guys have talked about this probably every other day, but how did you guys meet, right? For my audience that doesn't know, like, when was the first time that you met Conrad and that you guys were like, man, like, okay, there's something here, like, what's going on here?
Well, we met about 300 light years ago. Yeah, different part of the cosmos. But no, we met in San Francisco. And it was actually through the internet. Conrad was looking for a bandmate or a synthesizer player. And I had just finished visiting my my old college university, and I went to see my old piano professor. And this is a lady that's awesome. She was in her 80s when she taught me, and she's still doing her thing. So it's really amazing. So anyway, I was in San Francisco, living there, working for a video game company at the time. I went to visit my old college, and I saw her, and basically she's had all these chamber groups just practicing away, and it's all these people with white hair and just rocking out. So I came back to San Francisco and I said, you know what am I doing with my life not playing music? Please, universe, let me find someone who's super, super aligned with the most amazing music in the world that I feel aligned to. And that's how we met. Yeah.
Kindred artistic spirits. I tell you, I do this for a living. I'm in Nashville. I've never, like, you guys are so unique. We're so happy you guys, like, the cosmos put you together. Love it.
Oh.
Love it. And Conrad,
I love your energy, first of all. You are just like, I see directly into people, at least I think I do, unless it's the drugs. But no, really, you can see when there's a genuine good person, and you're a good person, you're doing good things in the world, and you're just,
I appreciate that, Conrad. Thank you so much. I take that to heart. Thank you. Stefanie mentioned San Francisco. And the genesis of your project, you guys lived in San Francisco for a while. And I love this story because one day you guys kind of decided to put all your stuff into basically storage. And you guys said, you know what, it's time to like head into the world and like just like creatively get juiced up with the cosmos. What for a few questions here, because this is like fascinating. This could be a movie. What was the breakthrough moment, first of all, Conrad? Where the breakthrough moment where you guys were like, this is it, like this is the moment, no more.
Why we left San Francisco, or just
Yeah,
this idea to move?
what was the breakthrough moment where you guys were like, now is the time?
So I think naturally in my life and Steph's life, we're both like, if you imagined us like in the 1930s, we'd have a stick with like a little sack on the back of it and jumping trains. No, but we're really much, I think there's a big part of us that's like cosmic explorers. And explorer means that, you have to go out and see different places and experience different things and go to, we've been to, it feels like almost every continent. And well, except for some of the stuff in the Southern Hemisphere yet to do. But I've been traveling since that date in 2017, where we took our keys and threw them into and they were big key ring, like, I mean, massive, like this big, was like maybe 50 keys on it. But it was very symbolic, that gesture of throwing the keys into the trash can, getting on the plane and going, okay, where are we going? And where's this gonna take us?
Yeah.
And we've just been going the whole time. And for me, I think it was that feeling of just, when it also at the time, the place had become not stale or stagnant, but for us, it felt like it's time to go. It was like, if you're in tune with your intuition, you just feel like this is the right time. And plus we're action-packed animals. We want to like go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
So,
well, definitely an interesting time to do it. 2017, right? You guys.
Well, there was a
like
presidential election, and we had to. Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm sure you guys can do it. And Stephanie, so you guys have been everywhere, exposed to every culture, every sort of situation, all sorts of things. Tell me a little bit, like what have you learned as far as, obviously you talk about technology and how it's engulfing every moment and like we're talking through Zoom now. Have you noticed that like the core values that have been there since the 1930s, like Conrad says, since the old Greeks, empathy, connection, giving, do you sense that is kind of like eroding? Do you feel that they're like stronger with this technology era? Like what do you feel about those core values, those core human values right now?
I think both are happening. It's quite polarizing, and I think the technology is amplifying what you would naturally choose as a human being. So it comes down to your choice. And I see that happening with people everywhere. Like you can choose to be swept away into the quick dopamine fixes where you're just looking for that quick, return, or you can use technology to really enhance your empathy and really feel into people. It's almost like it's like this. The technology has built what we have inside of ourselves, which is this interconnectedness, right? And then it's being externalized. But the way people are using it is entirely up to them. So
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely. I
think
love
it's
that.
a good time.
yeah, it's like whatever you want, it's there for you. I love it. And Conrad, you both are such creative souls. Even before this amazing, before your art, before your music and everything. Like Conrad, for example, you're founder, creative director of Music Mechanique, right? And you create music and sound design for films, TVs, video games, all the kind of good stuff. How has this technology affected that line of work? And what I mean is, has it almost made it easier, or is there like more traps because people kind of take the easy way out to create sonic landscapes? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's more. There's just more. Everything, there's more. I think that's the whole point of our whole life, is just to build this big mass of moreness. Is that a word? But
Sure.
yeah, there's more technology. There's more access for more people to create things which are already pre-made. So like it used to be, like if you were to go back in some other era, it used to be that if you were to play a loop or a sample of something, then and you were to put that into a record, that's you can't touch that, you can't do that. And now it's encouraged, and it's like not only is it encouraged, there's myriad places to get samples and different kinds of stuff, and stuff that's almost already done. You just push play and it's done. So for some people, so funny stories, we went to this thing called BBC Introducing, and Deadmau5 was there. And he was talking, and he was reminiscing about why it was not easier for him, but while it was more accessible for him to become successful during those times, to kind of build a name, because he was kind of cutting away, doing something different, and people were open to listening to different music. Not saying they're not at all now, absolutely they are. can't make it. That's too huge of a generalization to make. But he was basically saying that now it's like there's formulas for, if you're writing this style, you need to do this kind of thing, and you can grab a loop and it's already done. And so we kind of almost, I don't say we're anti-loops at all, but I like to really make stuff from scratch. And so the kind of art form of it is like, if you're making, even if you maybe even started with some kind of idea of a rhythm or something, but then you just take everything and make it your own. It makes it more, it just makes it more fun. You've touched it, you've interacted with it. Even if it's not perfect, it just comes off as your own.
Yeah. And I think that the listener like gets that. You know, I don't even know that they know why, but it, like that authenticity, just like, it's like a very like deep soul level like artist. I get you 100%. Love that. Love that. Love that. And Stefanie, you mentioned, you know, you went to San Francisco and, you know, you were curious and you're like, man, I want to do this with my life. And you as well. I mean, you've done so much, such a creative and unique special soul, Stefanie. I mean, you've worked at the California Academy of Sciences. You've organized conferences in Silicon Valley. Where did this, like, this soul come from? Like when you were like a child, were you always this curious and were you always creating new stuff?
Yeah, I was really rebellious as a child. So I was born in Taiwan, and it was a relatively conservative society, I would say, at the time. You know, as with any developing country, it's the family values are very strong, and traditions are great, and you're encouraged to. I think it's still like that with a lot of Asian countries. You're kind of encouraged to not rock the boat.
Yeah.
So with me, I've always kind of like had this rebellious soul, and you know, I wanted to do the thing that you said, which is just to wrap my belongings in a bag and put them on a stick and run.
Yeah, be free. It's not being free your mind.
Yeah. And my parents encouraged that. Actually, they always listened to me, which is really priceless when you're growing up. And yeah, I align myself with ideas that, you know, open-minded thinkers like Yogananda and you know, Tesla, and I'm just drawn to people with an open mind.
Yeah, that goes for both of us. That's where we spend most of our time, is like looking at innovators, not just innovators, but like in any kind of situation, as far as when it comes to people. But then that inspiration traverses everything. Then you look at the biggest innovator, which is, you know, the cosmic innovator.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, that's, I mean, just like I can
Creepy
sit there and look at
box.
little machines, like little kind of microorganisms, and you just look at it. It's so fascinating how all that goes. And then you realize, okay, we're just a bunch of microorganisms just that have decided to hold hands together and call itself a human being or whatever life it is. And then on top of that, those are all connected. And then when you see this interconnectedness, and it's just, you get a different perspective on everything. So regardless of technology, it might sound like we're into robots and science and all this kind of stuff. At the same time, it's like completely it's at the same time, both sides, meaning there's definitely like a spiritual element to it, meaning that not just spiritual that somebody has defined as this is spiritual, but spiritual meaning something beyond our understanding currently, something meta.
Yeah.
Not Facebook meta, but meta.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's such a good point, Conrad. And to Stefanie's point, I know in Silicon Valley people get this, and a lot of people do, but the power of proximity, right? To being with a community of people who elevate your game, whatever that is. Like here in Nashville, like I feel like the musicians just like push each other up and up and up just because of the community. It's just interesting how that works.
Yeah, you guys have a great community out there.
Yeah, I've heard this from everybody that's been in Nashville or works there, lives there. There's like, man, it is just energizing being here.
And there's a lot of people who left the San Francisco program. We're gonna do the Nashville program.
Yeah, totally. There's like an alt rock and indie rock scenes now. But yeah, and speaking of that, you know, you guys have been so good with your time. Thank you. Conrad, let me ask you about touring, right? Because seriously, Singularity and Control, like just you guys are mind-blowing live. Like there's no other way to say it, mind-blowing. Like, are you guys gonna like tour this? Like, please do. Like, we need this. Like, what's going on there?
Man, I want to say that is our biggest, ideally we want to. There's nothing stopping us. We have a date coming up actually in London this February, February 3rd. So, but besides that, we're working on like a bunch of stuff. Hopefully by the summer, hopefully Omicron chills out a little bit and they've opened things up. And if so, then hell to the yes. I mean, yeah, we want to get out and experience this thing. We might do something interesting. We're talking about doing something kind of cyber also, a little bit
I love
kind
it.
of, yeah, to go inside. But yes, we want to tour. We want to come over and play in US and stuff, and we're working on it.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, Stefanie, Conrad, you guys have said it all. You guys have
Aw.
something really, really, really special going on here. And like, we're just honored to live in that same era that you guys are producing this, because it's really cool.
We're honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely, guys. And have a
Amazing.
great new year. And hopefully we'll see you around.
Have an awesome 2022.
Bye. Toodles.
Bye.
Have a good one. Say.